All right, so we're getting to a point right now where this club is just not doing it for me. This is the putter, and have been really struggling on the greens, and not just struggling on the greens, but just struggling with how I feel over putts and things like that. Definitely a little bit of a confidence issue, but just feeling like something's off a little bit when I'm getting over putts. And so that's gonna leave me the time to, yeah, I could go drill it, I could go work on it, but when I don't even feel comfortable and things don't feel right, I want to go ahead and cross something off the list, and that is make sure that this putter is still the right one. So I'm going to take you through. We were here at the Missile Performance Center. We're in the putting lab. Let's go through a putter fitting. What's going on, everybody? Scott Hogan coming at you. We are here at the Missile Performance Center. As I mentioned, we are here in the putting lab. So a really cool thing that we do have, where if we do feel like we can check off different boxes, hey, is the equipment right, or is it something that's going more in your stroke? So I'm going to go ahead and check off that equipment box here today and go through putting. So I'm going to go ahead and get fired up, do a putter fitting, take you through the process and what we do to make sure people's putters are fit. I do have a couple of old guys here that I want to try out as well, but you can also see we've got plenty of new toys in here as well, and new toys are always fun. So let's go ahead, let's get it started. We're going to use some of our technology. I'll explain it as we go, but let's get into it. First step, we're going to use Sam Putt Lab, but Sam Putt Lab is going to want to know what the specs are on our club. So what I'm going to do first is we're going to go ahead and get our lies and lofts of this current putter. And this is a White Hot OG Rossi putter. I like this putter. I used to have one in college, and it did work for a little bit, but again, we're kind of getting to that point where it's just not cutting it. All right, so got the putter, the loft angle on this guy, 2.75. Pretty standard, you know, normal is about 3 on a putter when you're getting them from stock, and then 69.75, also pretty standard, usually around 70-ish degrees when you're doing a putter. It is pretty normal for a putter to bend over time, especially if you have something that's more forged. If you have something like Scotty Cameron, those bend actually pretty easily. So like if you're somebody that leans on your putter, like when you're just standing there, stuff like that, we do see that moving. So that's where we want to be. Now, the other thing to note about this putter, we do have its length. Okay, so this one is a little bit shorter. It is only 33 inches. All right, so got our specs, know where we're starting. Let's fire it up. All right, so normally we're pretty good with just doing Sam Putt Lab. Sam Putt Lab is going to tell everything. I do have, you're going to notice in the video, I do have the Flight Scope X3C, which does a lot of good putting stuff. The reason I'm going to do this, and we will use TrackMan sometimes for this as well, is when we leave from here, the Sam is not mobile, but we can go out to the green, and if I notice anything that I want to do out there, the Sam is going to tell us what the putter does. Something like a radar would tell us what the ball does per se. All right, so we've got our SAM report here. So I've got it up here. I'll put it up on the screen here as well. So you can see overall, not too bad. You can see on the report, this green zone would be like good, right? So anything above 75, you're typically saying like, hey, you're getting into like tour level stuff as you're going. That's pretty good. We'll go through the 4 different metrics. So tendency would be just how does your stroke look? Basically like stroke mechanics. That's something that you would look at, like how are you opening the face, aiming, stuff like that. Timing, how is the acceleration, the tempo, that type of stuff. Consistency. Consistency is just between putt to putt, are you doing the same thing over and over again? This is half of your score, by the way. This is a huge, huge deal. You can see I'm pretty high on the first 2, but then I drop a little bit on the consistency, so I get affected quite a bit because of that lower consistency. And honestly, that is the most important part. It's not necessarily what you do, but do you do it over and over again? And then overall performance, I'm right at 74.7, so it's 75, so not too bad. But again, this is kind of what I've been feeling. It's just something is not happening all the time, and it just feels a little bit odd. So let's take you through it a little bit more. You can see on the face change, it does, you notice my putts. I'm gonna pull up on the Flight Scope. You'll see everything tends to want to shoot off a little bit right, which is what I've been noticing, kind of right and a little bit weak, which is interesting because I actually closed the face of the dress. So I'm not aiming it as consistently as I think I need to. And aim is one of the biggest things, in my opinion, when you're going through and getting a putter. That can come from head shape, what the little lines on your putter are, the alignment markings. Those are all things that are going to matter. Now, I do actually do it consistently, which is interesting, but you can see I'm opening the face throughout my stroke and I'm not consistent at that. So when I'm going to impact, that putter is opening because I'm aiming it left and I'm not consistently getting it to the same spot. So we don't want that. You can see face to path, a little bit of a draw, so I tend to swing it a little bit out as we go, and this is where you can see face and impact, pretty much the most important part of putting. 0.7 closed, and I'm not very consistent at that, in my opinion. I want that number pretty high as we were to go through this. So you can see path direction. I am pretty good, 0.4 to the right. I like that. Again, not super consistent. Again, I think that has a lot to do with the face and what we're doing. You can see the path arc is not very consistent. Again, I think that has a lot to do with the face as we go, and then we go from there. Impact spot a little bit on the toe, which is interesting. So that shows me I'm maybe cutting across it just a little bit. But yeah, we go through that and see what we got. So you can see we've got a little bit of an issue. I would start always at address. What can we do about our address? I can change some stuff to affect what the putter is doing as well, but I need to get it aimed a little better. So if I can do that, then I think we're gonna be in a better spot. So let's get to that. All right, next up, gonna be the Bettinardi. This is a BB1. I've had this for a while. Done some of my own little work on the back just to mess around, but again, same thing. Let's get our specs and go with it. So when we're hitting this BB1 is going to be a little bit more, I can't really do it with this on it, but a little more toe hang. This putter is designed to have a little bit of face rotation to it. So instead of me opening the face, it's meant to close the face. That's how it wants to be swung. All right, so same thing. Let's take a look now at that one as we go through. So we go through the Bettinardi. Different style. You can see getting a little bit more green across the board, definitely more consistent. Tendency dropped a little bit, but again, that consistency went up, so my overall score went up. That is a big part of what we've got, and you can actually see how they scored over here. So just a little different way to look at the report that we already looked at as we go through this. So let's go ahead, let's show you aim. So I aim it a little less close, but I'm still aiming it closed. That's kind of driving me crazy. But you can see how consistently I'm doing that. So let's see what we get. Then I'm much more consistent with the delivery, so I'm pulling everything just slightly. This one, because it is more of an arcing putter, it starts to shove that path way out to the right, and that's not exactly what we want. Then we get into that path, again, pretty consistent with it, but not like in the shove aspect of this. That could be a stroke thing too as we go. Again, main thing's gonna be, can we get the ball started on line, which is mainly the face. So impact spot, because I'm swinging out, starting to hit it on the heel. We do not like that one bit. That's pretty poor, actually, as we go. And then you saw with the previous putter, I was on the toe, actually. And then here we go. We're actually doing good on some rise angle. Actually taking a lot of loft off of it, which is okay. Probably too much. I might need to add loft to the putter. That might be something we look at. And then we go to this, the face rotation. This is actually pretty good. You can see obviously by the score, but we're just pretty consistently closing it. I'd like it a little better, but it's not too bad as we go. It's a little yippy. When we look at this screen, it's like, man, this is a little just, it's, you know, we want lines on lines on lines. That's the consistency thing as we go. And then you can see kind of the same thing of where we're just kind of, it's almost like I'm hooking my putts a little bit, and I'm not very consistent with that. So There we go. And then this is just, again, speed, how we're swinging it, stuff like that. So I've been pretty good on my timing and all that as far as the stroke goes. We improved some of the stroke, some of the consistency by changing the putter. A little bit different weight, a little bit longer putter. But what I want to do is I'm going to go even longer. I have a feeling it's somewhere in the head design and the lines that I'm looking at. And then I think it's going to be a little bit in the length, just how I'm bending to the golf ball that's getting me there. So we're going to go even longer, and then we're going to go ahead and change the style of head again. All right, so first off, this putter, to talk about Scotties and Bettinardi's and stuff that can bend easily, this putter is at 70-degree line angle, which is fine, but not even 2 degrees, 0.25, a quarter of a degree aloft. All right, so before I even hit it, I'm going to adjust it here. So just to show you how easy this is, let's go ahead and show you. Whoosh. I just pushed on that and it went 2 degrees. Okay, and this is in tight. So that's how easy it is to bend these putters. I haven't used this one in a while, so who knows where it's been. So that's 2.5. And I'm keeping the lie angle the same, so I'm trying to push it straight, but if I needed to, I could change that as well. There we go. .275. We're gonna go there, 275, which is where we've been with everything else. Lie angle's still good, and yeah. It's crazy how much that is. That 0.25 is not good. All right, so more mallet style, different aim. Changing the style of putter didn't change my pattern that much. It made it a little more consistent, but still was kind of like opening throughout from where I aim. So trying to aim a little better. Felt pretty good. Definitely the length already. So this is 35 inches. The length just feels better. And I can see, again, I can see my setup on my phone here. I can tell that that setup is more where I want to be. All right, let's see what we got. That felt pretty good. Field test felt pretty good there. All right, so that one felt pretty good, but this is why we use technology. So I definitely like the length. The length is something I would take away from it. You can see tendency really high, timing really high. Consistency dropped again. So when I'm getting into those mallet head shapes, the consistency is dropping. Overall performance though did go up 77 as we go. So again, could you work on some of this through practice? Maybe, that would be part of it. That is way better, okay? So that makes me happy. That makes me happy there that style. So this is a bigger mallet and it is a squared off mallet with a long line on it. So that's something I'm going to clue in on here when we're looking at putters. Now let's look at the direction. That's excellent. I'm super, super happy with that. Impact is, my path is a little bit shaky and you can actually see all the putts down here. So I tend to shove it out to the right, especially that last one got a little away from me. So you can see I really push it out there. Now, again, I would say is more of a stroke thing that I would look at, but because it's been consistent throughout all the putters. So that's cluing me in that, hey, that's not the putter necessarily. Impact spot, a little better. I still need to work on that. That's not very good, in my opinion. And this is thing that would clue me in here. If I didn't want to work on that, then the putter, I just hit the Scotty with a lot of MOI, where if you can hit it on different parts of the putter, you get a lot of forgiveness. That would be something I would look at as we go. So hitting up on it, still need to add more loft probably as we go. Rise angle right there. Is good for the most part, hitting up a little bit on the putts. And then, yeah, this is a lot smoother out. You can see these are smoothing out a little bit and you can see fairly consistent there. So biggest thing is just my path. Path is really what brought me down here. So even though that consistency score dropped, my consistency went way up in the areas that I care about. So I wouldn't immediately throw that putter out. Actually, I'm very, very inclined to use that putter as we go. So A thing I could try if I wanted to get my path a little bit better. Again, I think I'd have to just work on it a little bit, but also I think I would need to work on maybe some sort of mallet type blade. I'm not really sure there. I would just, honestly, I would just stay with, I think I need to work on the stroke a little bit more. It's just, a lot of the numbers are really good as we go. So getting a little bit more length to it has helped. That just felt better and looked better to my eye. But then also the data is showing, again, when we get to the critical stuff, this is where I want to be as we go, okay? That's what I want to improve upon in my putting, just getting set up, and then everything else will kind of take care of itself. So, got me thinking though, one more thing we got to try. It's going to be really sad when this is the best one. I'm not a huge fan of this, like, so here, a question I have is, and I'd love to hear your comments, like when you're playing with somebody, if they have this, the question we had was, like, it looks like they're anchoring, right? And like anchoring's not allowed, but the rule is so gray about what you can do and, you know, incidental or intent to anchor. Like, what do you do? And that's something I actually would worry about if I was to use this putter. Now I just want to try it. I have messed with these like years ago. You know, and obviously Lab makes one too. But what do you do? Like, how do you confront that situation? And what's the rule change? Because like it can touch your shirt, you just can't touch your chest, or your arm can't be pinned. They need to change the rule if they're gonna do it. All right, so we gotta go like something like this. Key on this one is elbow up here. We'll go pencil. Oh, that kind of got a little crazy. On that first one, I'd be interested to see that guy. It's like, where do you even stand? I'm so far outside the ball. That actually felt really good. Oh no. All right, so I was getting scared for a little bit there because it actually didn't feel too bad. Let's take a look. You can see consistency is so low on this. Can't figure out how to aim it, that's for sure. I'd probably have to use a line. I've been trying to go away from using the line, but I would probably need a line if I was gonna use this guy. It's just you're so far away from the ball when you do it. It closes. Hey, I was kind of on the right track. Path would get better. Now, super inconsistent. Let's see our path and impact. Actually, it's just kind of, sometimes it's in to out, sometimes it's out to in, but it's actually pretty close to zero. So that definitely improved path. So what that would tell me is when I take the putter I'm gonna pick, I would just need to work on moving my chest a little bit more because that's what you do with that putter. So I can actually get there. So you can see that's a little better. Again, super inconsistent, but we are getting in the right direction. So impact shot, not very good. Again, it's like, man, it's like hard to get that thing started, even when you're moving it. Hit down on it a little bit more, which is interesting. Don't take as much loft off of it. And then, yeah, there we go. So just not super consistent overall with it. I mean, there's just not much good about it. So I guess I don't have to worry about getting called out on rules issues as we go, but interesting that people like it and people use it. So that would be it. All right, so got to a point. Now, obviously we can go through, we have a room full of putters, but if you don't have some to try, I already had some that I would like to try first. So I was able to go through those different models. But if you're in a putter fitting, we have all of these putters here. I still have a bag of Scotty Camerons right there that I'm gonna start messing with because I know I need to be something close to the shape, but I can look at different necks. I can look at different setups. I have a center shafted option I could try. I can see where I need to go to maybe get a little bit less of that putting arc to it, or I could just go practice, but where's the fun in that? So If you have any questions about a putter fitting, hopefully this helped you with what this is doing, where I would go with it, and what my thought processes are on improving my putting, from equipment to even talking about where I would go to fix the stroke. When would be a good time to fix the stroke? That is what you're trying to do, is remove doubt and just check things off the list that would help make you a better putter, short game, wherever you're at in your game. So would love to hear your thoughts. Would love to hear your thoughts on the anchoring part, because that is just an interesting one to me. And as always, click that subscribe button. We will see you in the next one. If you want to come get fit for a putter, I'll link it down here for the Mistwood Performance Center. Would love to see you and get you dialed in. Thanks everybody for watching.